Connie Willis, the podcast. Taking you into new ways of thinking, even providing answers to questions you've often pondered. Connie Willis, the podcast. This is a Connie Willis exclusive. Whistleblower. What you're about to hear has never been heard anywhere else. This is Connie Willis, the podcast.
Connie Willis back with the private military, government contractor, and U.S. Navy Special Warfare veteran, Robert Treat, whistleblower, informant, as well as deathbed confession. Go to the GoFundMe.
Informant.
When you say they are bound to us, or bound here, and they got their own ships, why can't they just fly off somewhere? Is there some wall or something, or something that
there's different classifications of the ships and how they travel, and this is where I'll talk about the Stargates and what they are. I've heard people talk about, there's one guy, he talks about, there's this ring of this rare mineral and it looks like a water puddle and you step through it and you're an alien world. Man, that's the plot line from Stargate, okay? Stop watching TV, okay?
It's true. I'm sorry I have to laugh, but that's true.
You need to put the remote down and step away from the TV because, you're not capable of handling such information. Just go away. Stargates are exactly what they say. It's in the name, Stargate. The sun is a Stargate. That's how they come and go. There's a reason why our satellites are pointed into deep space, because if we turn them around and point them towards the sun, that's where the activity is. It's sunward.
And the activity is what?
That's how we'll just call them the good grays, the good aliens. That's how they come into our solar system, is they come out of the sun and they leave the same way they go into it, right? Each type of sun, each class of star has a different range of power, right? So like a red dwarf, like our sun, it can take you from one solar system to another, but it's not going to have enough power to take you across the galaxy to the other side of the galaxy or even to another galaxy, okay? So like when you hear these other contactees saying, this race, they come from the Pleiades. Well, the Pleiades is a star system, and those stars are very far apart. But if you want to jump from one galaxy to another, you need a star system, not a single star. The farther you need to travel, right, the bigger the gate. So a red dwarf like our sun will take you to a nearby solar system.
When you say it does it, it propels you? Or if you go through it, boom, you go there.
You go there. You enter into our sun. Something I saw when I was on their ships, how they navigate. The visual representation, like you see the stars laid out. It's just like the wall goes completely transparent, and you see stars even hundreds of light years distant. But you see, they can map, I think scientists now are calling it the cosmic web, but it's so much more than that. They can navigate the forces, the invisible forces of gravity, electromagnetism, right? And they can see where each one goes. So they enter into one star and it can go into it can have different exits in different star systems, right? They're able to kind of like just surf on that. And there is no time or distance in that, right? So when they're traveling between 1,000 years could pass here and it's nothing there, right? For them, when you're in that wormhole, I guess you would call it, although it's a very bad reference because it creates a mental image of something that it's not, but let's just call it a wormhole between all these stars.
Okay.
When you're in that, nothing else exists, right? It's out of creation. It's out of anything that we have any reference for, right? That's why I'm stumbling with the words, because there aren't any words to really describe what's in the space between the stars. It's not like it shoots them through this physical plane, right? Um, for them it's instant, even though it could be 100 light years, right, as we perceive it.
But you go in a star, like I've got a ship and I can go through. I go right to the sun, and then it can take me somewhere else.
Yes, it will spit you out in another solar system.
And I can tune in the right frequency or whatever, calculations of some sort, to where I can go where I want to go.
It's like a freeway. You take the exit you need to take.
Oh, cool. It's like a spaghetti junction area or something.
Yeah, and they're able to see that and map it.
But have we been able to see that? Okay, that goes back to the human part of it. So before we get to that, because obviously we must know about that.
Our technology doesn't have the capability to enter into the star. We'll burn up and get crushed.
Oh no, I think you're right, but we must have knowledge of it.
Oh, they have knowledge of it.
Yeah.
And the reason I even asked that question of them was because we were learning about black holes in science class.
Mm-hmm.
And as the teacher was explaining, I was like, this doesn't make any damn sense, right? You're telling me that a black hole sucks everything in, even light, and nothing can escape it. But if you go into one, you'll come out of another one, right? Isn't that also sucking in light and everything else? Like, how do you come out of something that you can't get out? You just told me that you can't escape from a black hole. So how do you pop out of the other side of one?
Hey, do not question.
It just drove me nuts. So the next time I had an opportunity to ask, I brought that up. I was like, are black holes how you travel? And the answer was no. And this is how they explained. They even showed me. And I was about between 10 and 12 when that happened, when I saw that. I would love to see it again as an adult because I'd have a much better perspective and understanding. But they showed me how it worked, much like your father would show you when you're 12 years old what a stick shift does in a car. So those are the Stargates.
Stargates, our suns.
It never made sense to me, how they could say, it's burning. What's burning? What's the fuel? Right. And then they taught us things like, the Big Bang, Event One, the big hydrogen inrush. Well, where did that come from? You say, hydrogen suddenly rushed into this galaxy, ignited in the Big Bang, and created all the stars in heaven and stuff. Well, where did the hydrogen come from?
This is a Connie Willis exclusive on Connie Willis, the podcast.
So why they're here is to basically test us to make sure, to see if we should continue on.
If our species is worthy of survival.
Worthy enough.
They're not a warlike species. They're not going, and none of the other races are warlike species. Their ships do not have weapons.
Well, in creating us, can't they take away the mean DNAs? Have they figured that out yet, or the gene that's bad in us, or
the good ones aren't going to do that. And this is what we call free will, which is largely an illusion.
Is that their free will? Because if they reign over us, that's their free will to take that away or not.
Oh, they could control us and turn us into drones, just like the small grays.
Right.
But then what's the point of us? They tend towards life, and their life is, by our definition, eternal. It is so long it might as well be eternal. And all the other races are like that. They've transcended time and mortality, right? They want the same for us. They're not hateful. They're not like, the way we would treat cattle or chickens. The Greys, they want that for us. They want us to take our place, but we have to deserve that place. The Fallen, they don't want that, right? They want to use us as cannon fodder in their desire to replace the order. To become the rulers.
Are they doing anything to help us become aware of that and conscious of that to wake up. The good ones.
The good ones, yes, they are. They send people out among us, hybrids out among us. And there's only a few hundred hybrids at any given time on this planet. And these hybrids, there are various forms of hybrids. There are the information collectors who are basically hyped up, data devices. They'd be like the lowest form of hybrids, which, it's what most of them are. But the hybrids that are created from the Primarch stock, right? Most of the hybrids are created from the Archon stock. So their genetic base becomes the core base of the DNA of the information collecting hybrids and some of the other types of hybrids. At any given time, there's a few hundred hybrids on the planet that are from the Primarch stock, what basically is a god to us. Okay, they're exceptionally divine humans. And they've tried to tell us for thousands of years. And some of us will learn, and most of us won't. If you look at the characters like, Buddha, or, at the risk of pissing a lot of people off, Jesus, right? Or Gandhi. I don't know if Gandhi was one, but say that type of person, those whose lives are glorified examples of what we could be if we would stop being what we are. And it's a choice. We can stop being beasts anytime we choose. But will we choose?
Well, a lot of us choose that individually, so why doesn't it happen?
Well, the word choice, as we use it in our modern language, is watered down. It's kind of like, sorry. When you choose something, to them that choice is absolute. If it's not absolute, it's not a choice, it's a maybe. You choose to be good, you simply become that. If you're going to straddle a fence and have one toe in, it's just a maybe and you're not there yet. Can you be absolutely good? Can you face any bad situation and not think bad things? Like, if somebody harmed you in the most horrible way, would you think of killing them? And if so, then, you're not there yet.
Informant. What you just heard has never been heard anywhere else. This is Connie Willis, the podcast. Informant. Learn more about Connie, her guests, and be sure to join her private membership shows, Blue Rock Talk and Connie After Dark, at ConnieWillis.com. Whistleblower.